Hi everyone. Today I want to talk about something that is quite interesting when you enter the world of psychology and therapy as a whole, when you start, diving into that world of self-discovery towards discovering others, it starts within. I came across this tool and it came in quite handy in my life. It made me understood a lot of things about myself and others in the realm of a romantic relationship, but not only. I'm talking about the love languages. So in this video, I want to introduce you to what the 5 love languages are and how you can use them to understand how you are your healthiest and your happiest in a relationship, as well as your partner. How can you make somebody else happy according to these 5 love languages? The love languages have been labeled as the key to a successful relationship. It's been invented his creator came up with the idea in the early 90s. He came up with these 5 different languages, this 5 big category of how you want to be loved and how you give love, how you receive love. We all have one primary way of responding to love. Depending on how we grew up, what we encountered in our lives, we belong to one or two, but there's 1 to 2 primary categories of our way of loving. I'm not a therapist. I don't claim to be one. My role here is just to kind of give you the tools that have been helping me along the way. This one is pretty harmless, to be honest, and quite beneficial to a relationship. It has helped me a lot to understand myself and others, and I thought, why not share it with you? Some of you might be familiar with the idea. So, yep, let's get into it. It seems a lot of relationships kind of fail due to this sort of incomprehension of the other. There's always like, oh, we don't communicate well, or I don't feel loved, and there's always this kind of obstacle that comes into every relationship at some point. The key, I think, is to know, when you enter a relationship or when you break up, people might say, you need to focus on yourself, you need to learn more about yourself, you need to know what you want and need in a relationship, and that's entirely true. And I think it goes also in the direction of, how do I want to be loved personally? What makes me feel loved? Is it constant communication? Is it praises and, having that person constantly with me, having that person do things for me? It's all about what makes you feel secure and fulfilled in your relationship. And once you know how to satisfy those needs and how to communicate those needs to somebody else, it's easier for you to understand that your partner has the exact same system of needs and wants that they're going to communicate to you in the relationship. And there's nothing wrong with asking what you need in your relationship. Somehow, we tend to believe that the right person will come in one day and magically guess everything that you need. They'll guess exactly how you want to be loved, and it's going to be just this incredible connection that just came out of nowhere, and it's perfect. In some cases that might be the case. It's easier when you find a match that actually kind of understands you without you having to constantly justify yourself. I mean, I agree with that, but to make a successful relationship, it is essential that you feel secure enough in yourself to ask and request, demand a special treatment. An example. How long would you think a relationship could last with somebody that is not a good texter? You know, that person does not like to text, that does not like to call. Nothing wrong with it. But you know, that's just not who they are. They just, you know, they're swallowed into their everyday life, and they're not really on their phone. They're not that great of digital communicators. Meanwhile, your safety, your inner safety within the relationship depends on having constant, steady communication. How long would you think that relationship would last if you feel like you're asking too much and it feels like a chore to them to text you or to call you at night? There's not one behavior that is too much. I don't like to be, for example, FaceTimed 4 times a day. Personally, this is not how I enjoy communicating with my partner, because I feel like it cuts me off my real life, or just, you know, just my everyday things. But I know for a fact that some people need to FaceTime even for 5 minutes. They need to FaceTime every day, at least once or twice. By no means can I judge that behavior or that need. This is not my place, and it's not yours. It's nobody's place. If these people need a steady communication through phone calls and video calls, let them be. You need to identify your needs. It could be argued that, you know, that will be a lack of safety, like, you know, an anxious attachment to need communication that often. You know, this could be toxic. You know, you need to let the other person breathe. But what if that's only toxic if the other person does not like to give love that way? You know, it's only toxic if the person that they're dealing with hates that. For example, it would be toxic with me. I would be the toxic. There would be a toxic bond with that person, because let's say I'm with a partner that needs to call me 4 times a day, video calls. I'm talking video calls for that one. After a while, I would feel drained, and this would not sit right with me. But I know couples who function that way. And they both enjoy having that little connection through the day via video calls. They enjoy that. They feel secure in their relationship. There's not one that is pressuring the other to do something. It works that way. So, you know, all of this to kind of illustrate that not one of your needs is bad. It's always as long as the other person is okay with it. It's like, it's consent. It's always like this. You know, if you need to go through your partner's phone, I wouldn't say it's a great idea. Let's say your partner is fine with it, with you kind of checking. If they're fine with it, truly fine with it, do it. You know what I'm saying? It's only bad if there's a tension between, if one of them feel oppressed by the other's behavior. Do you get my drift? Can I go on? I really want to erase judgment from the way people want to be loved, because sometimes, and especially today, you know, we see lists of right behaviors, wrong behaviors. It's only right or wrong when the other person is responding positively or negatively to it. Nuance. Anyway, so by communicating your needs to your partner, you make sure that they know, they have the knowledge to provide the best way to you, to your needs. And nobody can guess what's on your mind. Nobody can guess that you need to be loved a certain way if you've never told them. It's not realistic to think that your partner can guess what you need. You are a grown-up. This is your job to know exactly how you need to be treated and to communicate that through boundaries and through demands. Once you've explored a bit within yourself what makes you feel good, what is not so important to you, you can move on to these 5 love languages, and maybe there's one that you will recognize. So there are 5 of them. You've got words of affirmation, quality time, receiving gifts, physical touch, and acts of services. You've got the way you naturally give love, the way you naturally express love to your loved ones, and you've got the way that you feel the most loved. Your partner is the same. They've got ways of giving love and ways of receiving love. Sometimes they are different, which can be, I know that I don't give love the same way I like to receive it. It's strange, but it's some people might be more coherent in their love languages. Will I ever be coherent? That's it. That's what I thought. So, and you might be the same, and it's so okay. So words of affirmation. It is a way to express love and receive love through verbal communication. So it's being reassured verbally. It can be also through text and messages. It's as long as it's verbal. It's saying, I love you, I love being with you, you make me feel that way. It's also through praises and encouragement, positive words throughout the day. A little note left on the counter before they leave or before you leave. It's praising you, like you're doing great, I support you 100%, it's cheering your mate up. Through that verbal, it is said, it's the I love yous are easy, it's, you need that, you need to hear that you are loved, you need to hear that they're happy to be in a relationship with you, you need to hear that they're there for you and that they value you. So that's it for words of affirmation. Then we've got quality time. It is basically doing a lot of things together, running errands together, going places together, like just spending a lot of time together, but also with the full attention of your partner. So phones off, no distraction. For example, somebody that whose primary love language is quality time could never, with a partner that is constantly on their phone, you're talking to them like, I'm listening to you, but they're on their phone. Anytime they're not 100% with you, will feel a bit wrong, and they're with you, but they're doing a ton of different things at the same time. You don't have their full undivided attention. This will clash. I want to say quality timers really value attention. They're there. You are together. You're doing things together, but there's in I would say almost like in a bubble, like there's nothing outside coming in. Then you've got physical touch. So unlike the words of affirmation, this way of loving is mostly non-verbal. It's about feeling your partner close to you. It doesn't have to be sexual. It can be, just an embrace, just feeling your partner somewhere, just cuddling on the couch watching a movie. That's physical touch. Of course, there's intimacy. That's obviously, but it's through feeling your partner. You're walking in the streets, they're holding your hand, they have their hand, in your back, something. Just giving a massage, everything that goes through the body. I think physical touch is somehow misunderstood. It's really, that closeness, feeling close to your partner. Then we've got receiving gifts, and more than the material aspect of it, it's mostly about the thought process behind a gift. How long have they spent on this gift? Is it really something that it is you? You know, like for there are people that just know how to give a great gift, and it's incredible. It also reassures you about how well they know you when the gift is just spot on and they spend time, you know, making sure that it's the right one. Offering something you put effort into. It's the embodiment of an attachment, but also there's so much more that comes into it. It's very solemn. And yeah, so that's receiving gifts, but it doesn't have to be, you know, expensive. It does not have to be. It's just how well does that person know me to make the perfect gift, and how far they're ready to go to find the perfect gift. And then we've got acts of services. It's about this one, spoiler alert, this is mine. Acts of services is helping your partner when, or being helped on you know, everyday stuff. Having somebody supporting you. They want to ease the mental charge that you have. They want to ease the stress that you feel. They want to show that through actions they're there for you. It's about picking something up for you when you can't, when you're running out of time. It's about putting the right desserts in the fridge for when you come home. There's also a form of devotion. It's like, I want to be with you. I'm your teammate, and we're doing this together. So yeah, that's it for the overview of the 5 love languages. So now I want you to think about which one of them, or which two, sometimes it's two, which one of them resonates the most with you. Look back at your past relationships, or your current relationship, if it's positive, or even your current relationship that is not going so well. What do you lack in this relationship, or what makes you feel the most alive in your relationship? Let's say you're in a or you're in a relationship that is not the happiest right now. What do you tell your friends when you're venting about what's wrong in this relationship? What do you tell your friends? Would you say, oh, we never spend time together, they never have time for me, we never go on weekends? You understood, this is quality time. Your love language is quality time. You need somebody to do stuff with you and to show you that they want to be in your life, and really be in your life, not on their phone, not with others, just with you. Would you say, they never text me, they never want to jump on a phone call, it's like I never can reach them, they answer my text in like 5 hours, blah 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 blah. Your love language is words of affirmation. You need to have that verbal connection with your partner. I'm gonna divide. So that was for the bad stuff. Now let's say, I love my partner. I could never find anybody else like them because they help me on so much. They make my life better by being there for me and helping me through things that I cannot manage on my own. Like they're always ready to help me. They're never reluctant to do favors to me. You know, they want to help, and I don't have to ask twice when, you know, I need something to be done, or I need help on something. That's acts of services. Once you've identified how is it that you are, you know, feeling love the most, it is time to focus on your partners. Ask them. I often have this conversation, and I've had it like not so long ago. How is it that you want to feel the most loved? How, first of all, you can kind of guess through experience, you know, how they respond to different things. Some people hate to be helped on chores, or to be, you know, they might feel childish, or they might feel like they can't do anything right. You know, not everybody responds the same way. For example, acts of services, the one I was referring to. So you might as well just leave them be and leave them do their thing without trying to help, even though you think that's positive, and it sure is, but it's not received that way, so you cannot push that onto somebody else. But maybe they don't want to be helped, but they want to hear that they're doing a great job. They don't want to be helped, but they want to hear, you're doing great, you'll do amazing, I know you can do it, I know you will win this challenge over, I know you've got this in you. This, for example, if that might be a good way of, you know, if initially you wanted to help as in acts of services, maybe, and it's not the right thing, maybe try, you know, other things, gifts, blah, blah, blah. All of this to say that everybody reacts differently, and in order to have a good, happy, fulfilling relationship, you have to have this conversation with your partner, and it feels very intimate to know deeply what they want and need from you and with you. And it kind of unlocks doors to a better relationship, because you know exactly how to provide for your partner, and you know exactly what you need, so that helps you navigating through new bonds. You know, like if somebody never texts back or never calls you when it's something that you need, it might not be their personality, and you will suffer throughout the whole relationship. Or if somebody is a micromanager, they need to check everything, and you hate that. You know, this is such a great tool. So I thought I would share that with you. Please spend time to really identify how is it that you like to be loved, identify those of your partner, discuss that, have a conversation. Maybe if your relationship is not doing so great right now, bring that to the table. How can we, you know, put the relationship on new tracks? I think this conversation is great to have. Let me know which one of these 5 is your love language. For me, as I said, it's acts of service. 100%. I need somebody, I mean, as somebody who suffers from an anxiety disorder, having somebody helping me through stuff that I feel overwhelmed with, and I feel overwhelmed the whole day, like it's not a joke. For me, having somebody do stuff with me is 1, an emotional support, 2, it takes off weight of my shoulder. That's how I feel the most love, and somebody who is willing to go out of their way to make my day better by helping me. Oh, I love that. And I would say also words of affirmation. I need a lot of communication. Anyway, these are mine. Tell me yours. What do you think about that? Have you ever tried to talk to your partner about it? Just let me know. I would be happy to discuss that with you as well. And yeah, I'll see you in another video. In the meantime, bisous.